Hello, I'm Onitson, and welcome to the video log for experimental deck building. Today we'll be testing the quests of the Forth Eorlingas Fellowship against the Morgul Vale. The Morgul Vale is a tough quest where we will have to deal with three boss enemies in succession. First, Murzag, possibly for our decks the worst of the bunch. 2 threat, 5 attack, 2 defense, 7 hit points. Really not that bad stat-wise. It's this forced effect that's the issue. After Murzag attacks, reveal the top card of the encounter deck. If that card is an enemy, put it into play, engaged with the defending player. We'll want to be able to lower our threat below his engagement cost quickly, or else we're going to find ourselves swarmed with more enemies than we can handle. Then after that, it'll be Lord Alcaron. 3 threat, 4 attack, 3 defense, 5 hit points. Really not a big deal, except for the fact that whenever he attacks, we place a progress token on to the tower, and that is an alternate loss condition. So I'd rather not if it's all the same. So really, after we defeat Murzag, we are going to want to go as fast as we can through Lord Alcaron, and then we will be facing the Nazgul of Minas Morgul, who is notable for having 7 attack and reducing any amount of damage dealt to him to 1. Excuse me. So he will take at least 5 turns to kill, probably, unless we can find ways around it, perhaps by, say, using Amber with Firefoot to kill. No, that won't work because the Nazgul is unique. I don't think we have a direct damage effect that will function on the Nazgul, so most likely we're looking at 5 turns to kill him. Unless we find some way to sneak around that and shorten it by 1 or 2 turns. That is. So, that's the quest. Our strategy, thinking about things in a long-term sense, we're going to want to get under Murzag's ability engagement cost and stay there until we've built up sufficiently that we feel we can handle these next 2 enemies. Lord Alcaron shouldn't be an issue. In fact, if we have a single feint, we can just engage him and use Eowyn's ability to kill him, which means we're going to want to save Eowyn and not have her use her ability to kill Murzag. Unless we've built up enough attack power that we could kill Lord Alcaron in a single stroke, regardless of the use of Eowyn's ability. So with that said, let's take a look at our decks. Deck 1 actually didn't receive any modifications for this quest. I was seriously considering dropping the Steward of Orthanc. I seldom use the response to draw a card, and it's expensive enough that I don't often play it. It's actually kind of an odd point there. It's reliable card drawing, so you'd think it would be excellent, but for these decks where they're trying to keep their threat as low as possible, that Doomed really messes with that. And so I don't tend to play it. Let's use Eowyn's setup ability. I haven't made the final call on whether to cut it or not yet, and I don't want this quest to be the judge of that, because this quest, the willpower requirements are much less strenuous. We don't actually have to be making progress, we just have to be successfully questing against whatever's in the staging area. So I don't want to cut too much willpower and then find myself not able to muster what I need to make progress elsewhere. But that said, I actually really don't care for this opening hand. We've got a little threat reduction, we've got Grimbold, and Forth Eorlingas is nice to have in the first opening hand, but what I really want is probably a feint to be able to stop Murzag from attacking if he shows up on round 1. I mean, Grimbold could do that, but that's an awful lot of resources to be putting into canceling Murzag's first attack. On the other hand, I have card draw, and I could play a Song of Travel on Eowyn, play an Ancient Matham on the Morgul Vale, and in a turn or two, clear it so that deck 1 can draw some more cards. I'm really tempted to mulligan. Let's take a look at the other deck's hand. Well, Snowmane readying for Theoden. A Test of Will is brilliant. A Dunedain Message. We can pull one of our side quests, round 1. And, I mean, Harrogrim's nice to have. Not essential by any means, but nice to have. And some starting defense boost. Really, I'm not seeing... I'm happy with where this is, really. Having that round 1 threat reduction really takes the pressure off. So, you know what, let's go ahead and mulligan here to see if we can get a better opening hand. Got a Feint, still have a Forth Eorlingas, have a weapon, so if we ever draw Foe Hammer we can start using it. A Rohan Warhorse, so we can start getting multiple attacks on enemies. Yeah, this is at least as good as the other hand was. At least as good. So let's go ahead and get started. Get our resources, draw a card, draw a Daorwine. Wonderful. That is going to help us with all of our defensive needs. What to play to start out with? Really, I'm tempted just to go like that. Get a Rohan Warhorse on Aomer, and let's get those stat boosts, like so. And with the second resource, put a Spear of the Mark on Nahama. They're both now 4 attack. We can attack for a grand total of 8, which incidentally is enough to kill Lord Alcaron. We have a weapon we can trigger to use Foe Hammer if we like. And Aomer can be getting 2 attacks at 4, if need be. I'm okay with that. Over here, I'm going to want to play that Dunedain Message. I suppose I could have played the Errand Rider and moved Theoden's resource over. Actually, that might be a better idea. Spend the resource on the Errand Rider and move Theoden's resource over. And then spend that resource on the Dunedain Message. Looking through the entire encounter deck, or my entire deck, sorry, for double back. Normally I'd be grabbing Prepare for Battle, but I want to get under Murzag's engagement cost as soon as possible. So double back seems to be it. And I could play Snowmane onto Theoden and get some action advantage, but right now I really think what we're going to want to do is clear double back. So, let's quest. 5, 7, 9, 12... against 5 in the staging area. You know what? 14 against 5 in the staging area. We need to make 4 progress. Well, let's try it. First flip, another Morgul Vale. Second flip, a Morgul Bodyguard. We've added a grand total of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We make 5 progress, clearing double back and reducing both decks' threat by 5. That should be 20. Well, as a turn 1 play, that was wonderful. Deck 2 will optionally engage a Morgul Bodyguard, block with Fastrid, engages the next player and makes an immediate attack. I forgot about that possibility. And I think we resolve the Shadow before we resolve any after defending enemy attacks, so let's take an attack undefended. There are no progress tokens onto the tower, so let's put the damage onto Eomer. Now, after Fastrid defends an enemy attack, reduce my threat by 2 and return it to the staging area. I don't see anything that says that that would be interfered with just because it engaged the next player and made an attack. If I understand the sequence right, we need to completely resolve the shadow effect before resolving the results of the attack. So the Morgul Bodyguard will engage the next player, make an immediate attack, and then resolve the attack on Fastrid. If that shadow effect had read, attacking enemy engages the next player and makes an attack after this attack is resolved, then we'd have done it first. We resolved with Fastrid. Could have reduced our threat by 2 to send it back to the staging area, at which point it would have immediately engaged deck 1 anyways. I am pretty sure that that's how it was supposed to be played. Oh, and I meant to travel to one of those copies of Morgul Vale. We don't need both of them in play. So, let's ready everybody up. Got a golden shield. Excuse me. Got an armored destrier. Well, the first thing we'll do is play a Dunedain Warning onto Fastrid, and Snowmane onto Theoden, and because we're about to spend a Song of Travel, I'll boost the willpower as well, and there's the Song of Travel. We'll use Fastrid's resource, because Theoden's resource is going to be more flexible. If Firefoot shows up, we can use it to pay for that. And if we don't need a test of will, but do need a feint, we can always use the Errand Rider to move it over. Over here, I think we are just going to go ahead and play Diorwine. And there is 6 threat in the staging area currently. We'll quest for 5, 7, 11, 13 probably. I think that'll give us a decent chance of... Oh, I should have flipped over the quest card. Doesn't make a difference. That'll give us a decent chance of clearing the Morgul Vale, I think. So, the first card we reveal is the Master's Malice. And I really feel like canceling that card. There's not really other treacheries in here that I really desperately want to cancel with the Test of Will. There's some nasty ones that put progress onto the tower or raise your threat by the amount of progress onto the tower, but the Master's Malice is the really nasty one. Flip 2 is a Morgul Sorcerer. We've added a grand total of 1 threat to the staging area, meaning we place 6 progress, clearing the Morgul Vale, we travel to the Morgul Vale. Theoden readies. And deck 1 will optionally engage the Morgul Bodyguard. And the Morgul Sorcerer will engage all on its own. We'll deal out the shadow cards. Diorwine will block the Morgul Sorcerer. Defending player raises their threat by 1. And Fastrid will block the Morgul Bodyguard. There still are no progress tokens onto the tower. And will reduce threat by 2 to send it back to the staging area. Theoden will attack for 4, killing the Sorcerer. So, there we go, I guess. There we go. Deck 1 draws the Westfold Outrider. Deck 2 draws Hauberk of Mail. And now we're really short on card draw. I would really like a Song of Kings right now. Also, I'm beginning to wonder if I want to play Harrogrim onto somebody other than Theoden right now, and get Theoden a golden shield and an armored Destrier, and start buffing him up so that Theoden can be our Uber defender, with Fastrid protecting against other enemies. Other weaker enemies. He's already got 4 defense, that's a thing. I'm also wondering if I want to put Hauberk of Mail onto Diorwine, making him a 4/4 defender with the ability to cancel shadow effects. These are all good possibilities. Let's play a Westfold Outrider. Saving a resource for Feint. Over here, I think I'm going to save for the Destrier. And save up for the possibility of playing Harrogrim onto Eowyn. Which would mean we'd need an unexpected courage, but that's the way those sorts of things go. We could pass a resource over to pay for Forth Eorlingas and kill something in the staging area. That's a possibility. So let's go ahead and quest. Eowyn, Elfhelm, Theoden. 5, 7, 11? 11 against 6? We should be fine. So, our first reveal is an Orc War Camp, and our second reveal is an Orc Vanguard, because of course it is. So we actually fail the quest by 2. That's exciting. The Vanguard will take 8 attack. That's actually just fine. So I know how this is going to go. Actually, that's not that bad. Take the Errand Rider, pass the resource over to Eowyn, optionally engage the Mortal Bodyguard, deal the Shadow card. Block with Fastrid. Attacks for 3 against Fastrid's 4 defense. Reduce threat by 2 to return the Morgul Bodyguard to the staging area. And now, over here. And really, that should have been a resource from Fastra's resource pool, not Theoden's. Spend Eowyn's 2 resources on Forth Eorlingas. And attack into the staging area for 9. Actually, 5 from Hama, 4 from Eomer. Which is more than enough to kill the Orc Vanguard. Ready Eomer with the Rohan Warhorse. And attack again into the staging area for 4, dealing 2 damage to the Morgul Bodyguard. Ready everybody up. Draw an Ancient Matham. Ride them down. Deck 2 is first player. And frankly, I want that Armored Destrier into Theoden. And I think we'll play that Hauberk of Mail on him next, too. Getting him up to 3 defense. Then over here, as much as I'd like to get a golden shield out, I think we need more willpower. So let's get Grimbold. Actually, before I do that, I can use the Errand Rider to move a resource over and play the Hauberk of Mail onto Theoden. Who's now defending for 3 and can ready to attack for 4. And discard a shadow card. That's an important bit. And also has 5 hit points. Another important bit to notice. Alright, so 5, 7, 9, 10, 11, 15. Against 2, 3, 8. We really kind of need to clear the Morgul Vale. So let's actually quest for 17. We need to make 3 progress. The first reveal is Power of Mordor. Oh, good heavens. There are 4 cards in the staging area, and, well, no, because when revealed effects on treacheries are... No, there are 4 cards in the staging area, because 2 of the towers in the staging area. So we're going to shuffle the War Camp and the Morgul Bodyguard into the encounter deck. And reveal 4 cards. 1, Morgul Spider. Gains 1, 2, 3 attack. 2, Master's Malice. I name Tactics. Over here, I name Spirit. Taking 3 damage there and killing off an Errand Rider. 3rd card is York War Camp again. 4th card is Forest Bats, who will deal 2 damage to Hama, removing his 2 willpower from the quest. One, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We make 4 progress, which is just enough to clear the Morgul Vale and travel to the Orc War Camp. Theoden readies. And If I do nothing, the enemies come down like that. And the spider will be attacking for 7. Which is actually what Theoden would be defending for if I'd had a golden shield. But if I optionally engage the forest bats right there, then I can do something like this. Fastred blocks the forest bats, reducing his dex threat by 2, and returning it to the staging area. And I can discard Grimbold to cancel the attack of the Morgul Spider. Theoden will attack back, dealing 3 damage, and at the end of the round, the Morgul Spider no longer gets its attack boost, and is safe to defend with Fastred. We'll draw Windfalla, and Unexpected Courage. A Song of Travel would be really nice sometime soon. Let's put a golden shield onto Theoden, who can now defend for 7. And let's put Windfalla onto Eowyn, who can now quest for 6. So, questing 6, 7, 8, 12 against 3. The first flip is Morgul Road. Second is an Orc Vanguard. Because of course it is. So we had 2, 4. We make 5 progress, which is enough to clear the war camp, and we can travel to the Morgul Road. Now would be a really good time for some threat reduction. You know? Deck 1 will optionally engage the Vanguard, and Deck 2 will optionally engage the Bats. Let's do that. Deck 1 will feint the Vanguard. While Deck 2, Theoden will block the Bats. There are no progress tokens onto the tower. Ready with the Armored Destrier, discarding the shadow card from the Morgul Spider. Fastred will block the Morgul Spider, returning it to the staging area? I could kill it right now. But I think I need the threat reduction more than I need it dead. Oh, and now for the attack sequence, Eomer and Hama together will attack for 8, enough to kill the Orc Vanguard. Returning Feint from my discard pile to discard the Galadrim's Greeting. No, I think, actually, odd as it sounds, to discard the Unexpected Courage. I really don't need the extra readying. And Theoden will just kill the forest bat? I don't know if I want to kill the forest bat, really. It's got an awful when revealed effect and an awful shadow effect. I really would rather it not go back to get shuffled into the encounter deck. So maybe Theoden won't attack, and we'll just leave it where it is. We'll ready things, draw some cards, a secret vigil. That is perfect. Another armored destrier. Less than useful at the moment. Although the moment I get a Song of Kings, it'll be fine. So deck 2 is just going to stay put with regards to playing things. We may well end up playing Ride Them Down if a nasty enemy shows up. Deck 1, we'll put a Secret Vigil up onto a Morgul Spider. And heck, it might be worth playing Ride Them Down just to finish off that Morgul Spider and reduce everybody's threat, and therefore not have to deal with Murzag. Anyway, so let's see. Eowyn for 6, Elfhelm for 2, Theoden for 4. So 8, 12. Against 5 in the staging area. Reveal. Ooh, place of progress onto the tower. Surges into Morgul Bodyguard. Second reveal, another Morgul Bodyguard. No complaints, really. We add 2 threat to the staging area. We make 5 progress. Just to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. We make exactly 5 progress, removing a progress token from To the Tower. Oh, Ride Them Down was not an option, I suppose. In that case, how are things going to shake out? Spider goes down here. Oh, Theoden readies, of course. Spider goes down here. Murzag would go down here unless I optionally engage. I think I'll optionally engage Murzag. And deck 1 will optionally engage Morgul Bodyguard. And the Morgul Spider will come down here like it expects to. Oh, actually, there was one left over, because Secret Vigil reduced the Morgul Spider's threat by 1. So there was 1 leftover progress to spill on that. Which means, in theory, I could have played Ride Them Down to deal 1 damage and use the response on the Morgul Road to do the final damage to the spider instead of removing the progress token, thus killing it, reducing everybody's threat by 3, and not having to deal with engaging Murzag. But really, all things considered, I'm in a place where I'm comfortable. Like so. So the first thing that will happen is Theoden will block the Morgul Spider, which gets +2 attack. It's attacking for 6 against his 3 defense. He'll exhaust the Golden Shield to add 4 to his defense. He's now defending for 7. Exhaust Armored Destrier to ready, discarding a shadow card from the Forest Bats. Fastred will block the Forest Bats, reducing threat by 2 to send them back to the staging area, and deck 1 will play a feint onto Murzag. And then over here, Diorwine will block the Morgul Bodyguard. Theoden will kill a Morgul Spider, reducing both decks' threat by 3. And Hama and Eomer together will attack for 8, killing a Morgul bodyguard. And if I thought there was any point... Oh, let's mark down that we've used one use of Hama's ability. And now we will ready up. Drawing a sneak attack. And a Steward of Orthanc. I am really running out of cards to play. And it is unfortunate. Well, I don't think I'm going to play anything. Well, let's get out of Steward of Orthanc. If more events show up, I can start playing the Doomed. Okay, 6, 8, 12. Against 2 threatened staging area. First reveal is another Morgul bodyguard, and then a Morgul Vale. That makes 6 progress. And I will, in fact, Ride Them Down to put 6 progress on a Morgul bodyguard, killing it. Traveling to the Morgul Vale. Optionally engaging the forest bats right there, and optionally engaging the Morgul bodyguard right there. We'll go like so. And now we're going to pull a neat little trick after we defend with Yorwine. Either treat the attack as undefended, or place a progress token onto the tower, or use Yorwine's response, spend a leadership resource token from Elfhelm, and cancel the shadow effect. Oh, Theoden readied after the quest with Snowmane. And... It's an empty staging area. So Theoden is going to block Murzag. It's attacking for 5. We'll exhaust the Golden Shield to defend for 7. And we will, after the attack, no, forced effects trigger before responses. So first, we will reveal the Orc Arbalesters, which we will put into play engaged with us. Then we will ready Theoden, discarding a shadow card from the Forest Bats. And now Theoden will block the Orc Arbalesters, while Fastrid sends the bats back to the staging area. And over here, Hama. No. I want to get rid of the Arbalesters because I would rather not deal with their archery next round. I actually think the best choice... I was going to kill the Morgul bodyguard, and the trick I was thinking of using but decided not to was deck 1 is first player. I could have resolved all of the attacks against deck 1. Then, when deck 2 started resolving attacks, discarded the Outrider to engage Murzag with deck 1, thereby avoiding the attack and the forced effect. Instead, we'll discard the Outrider to bring the Arbalesters over here. Which I suppose we could have done. So actually, no. Let's use that trick to avoid the attack on the Arbalesters. Might as well save the action on Theoden. They didn't have a shadow effect, a shadow card dealt, so it didn't matter either way. If we're going to discard the Outrider to engage them, we might as well do it in a way that saves us having to make a defense. Now, Hama and Elmer together are attacking for 10, which is enough to kill the Arbalesters, exhausting the Warhorse to ready Aylmer. Aylmer is attacking the bodyguard for 6, which does 4 damage. Then over here, Theoden will attack Murzag for 4, and the bodyguard will have the 2 damage dealt to it instead, killing the bodyguard. At the end of the round, Murzag returns to the staging area, and everybody readies. We draw another sneak attack, and we draw another feint. This is ridiculous. Okay. Eowyn, Elfhelm, Theoden, as normal. 12 against 3 in the staging area. We're just going to stall until we can't stall anymore. There's a Morgul tracker. 2 Morgul trackers. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. We make a single progress on the quest, or onto the active location. Theoden readies. I should have been questing with the Steward of Orthanc. I wasn't. If I do nothing, the force back comes down and nothing else happens. But there are currently no progress tokens onto the tower. I can engage a Morgul tracker. Engage 2 Morgul trackers. Oh, but if I engage them, they just come back because of the veil, unless I killed them. Which is actually a possibility. So why not? We'll engage both of them. No, we won't. We'll just leave it as it is. We'll leave it up there. I have more willpower I can commit to the quest next round. Fast Red will block, returning the enemy to the staging area, so Fast Red doesn't even get the threat reduction. That's wonderful. Reveal, ride them down, or draw, ride them down, and an honor guard. Well, let's play the honor guard. We're running out of cards in the encounter deck. I don't want to kill Murzag until after we've reshuffled, because the last thing I want is for Murzag to come off the top of the encounter deck on some later stage. Let's actually look at ourselves and ask the question. Are we at a place where we could reasonably expect to stand up to the Nazgul? And I think the answer to that question is yes. There's currently 11 threat in the staging area. Eowyn, Hama, Amer, the Steward. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 against 11? Now we'll leave Eomer up. First reveal, Watcher in the Wood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Raise each player's threat by 5. Okay, and the second reveal is a Morgul Road. We make 5 progress. Clearing it, we travel to the Morgul Road. And Theoden readies. And Murzag engages. And the bats engage. I didn't need to quest with Hama, apparently. But there was no way of knowing that, was there? Alright, well, we'll deal shadow cards. Okay, Theoden will block Murzag's attack. No attack boost. Golden Shield. And we reveal Doomed 2. Either discard 3 random cards from hand or place a progress token into the tower. We'll do the progress tokens, and that's each player has to do it. Theoden readies. And now over here, Fastred will block the bats, reducing his threat by 2 to return the bats to the staging area. While over here, Eowyn will ready and attack Murzag for 10, immediately adding Lord Alcaron to the staging area and advancing the quest. And now we have a feint to use on Lord Alcaron. We will kill him with Hama and Eomer. And we will ready up and draw new cards. Another feint and a Snowborn Scout. Wonderful. None of this is useful. There's 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 threat in the staging area. I'll quest for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. Well, that'll be fun, won't it? First card we reveal, raise each player's threat by 2. And the second card is an Orc War Camp. We failed the quest by 3. This is going to get exciting. Well, both of the trackers are going to engage automatically. So, how will I do this? If I choose to optionally engage Lord Alcaron and optionally engage the Forest Bats, then both the trackers come down all on their lonesome. And we'll go like that. Fastred will block the bats, who will go back to the staging area and not even give him the satisfaction of reducing his threat. Diorwine, okay, so we're feinting Lord Alcaron. Diorwine will block the first Morgul tracker, canceling the shadow effect. We'll take the second Morgul tracker undefended. Oh, treat the attack as undefended, blocking it with the Honor Guard. Aylmer will attack, killing a Morgul tracker, readying with the Rohan Warhorse, and between Aylmer and Hama, we will kill Lord Alcaron. Immediately adding the Nazgul and the White Bridge to the staging area, and advancing the quest. We'll delete that shadow card. Ready everybody up, and see what we draw. Okay. I have 3 more rounds before a Nazgul kills me. Or before a threat kills me. And I have no Songs of Travel. Okay. How will this work? If I sneak attack Gandalf in the resource phase, before the planning phase, I can get a damage onto the Nazgul of Minas Morgul. If I sneak attack again during the planning phase, I can get a second damage onto the Nazgul. I only have 2 sneak attacks, so I can get 2 damage onto the Nazgul, a 3rd damage for attacking with Aylmer, and then I get 2 more attacks. Frankly, I think I'm better off trying to draw cards and find a Song of Travel. So during the resource phase, sneak attack Gandalf to draw 3 cards. Then return to hand during the planning phase, do it again, drawing 3 cards. Because if I find a Song of Travel, I can reduce my threat by 6. Or if I find a Well-Warned, that's all. Just a Well-Warned. We'll also play both Snowborn Scouts, placing the progress tokens on the White Bridge, clearing it. The White Bridge is not immune to player card effects, so we're fine. We'll play Arod onto Hama, because why not? Hama's now attacking for 5, 6 into the staging area. And over here, we will play the Book of Eldacar onto Aylmer, and that is where we will be. And I don't know why I pulled it off of Éowyn. If I get a Song of Travel, it's going to go onto Éowyn. So currently there is 10 threat in the staging area. Éowyn's questing for 5, Steward for 2. In the quest phase, I'll sneak attack Gandalf one more time, drawing 3 cards. Gandalf quests, Elfhelm quests, Theoden quests. So 4, 10, 12, 14, 20, 18. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 18. 18. Okay. First we reveal is a Morgul Spider, which gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 extra attack. And the second we reveal is a Morgul Road. We make 3 progress. Readying Theoden. Optionally engage the Morgul Spider. The Nazgul comes down. No, optionally engage. No. Yeah, optionally engage the Spider. Then the Bat will come down, and the Nazgul will come down there. If I do nothing, it'll go Spider, Bat, Nazgul. Oh wait, no. Deck 2 optionals the Spider, deck 1 optionals the Bat, and the Nazgul comes down like that. Yeah, it could be worse. Deal out shadow cards. Okay. Theoden blocks the bats. They get 3 attack, he has 3 defense. We don't even need to exhaust the shield. We'll discard from the tracker. Whew, and that was a good call. And Jorwine will block the tracker. And we will faint out the Nazgul. Which is... Oh, and then over here, we'll chump block with the Snowborn Scout. Ooh. Okay, it doesn't get another shadow card. It's attacking for 11. I'm going to sacrifice the honor guard to it. Okay. Éomer, so now it's time to attack back. Well, I had been going to attack it with Theoden and Fast Red and kill the spider. That's obviously not going to work. Éomer is now attacking for 6 because a character left play, which is enough to kill the spider, ready with the Rohan Warhorse, and attack the Nazgul, dealing a point of damage. While Hama will attack and kill the tracker, exhausting Arod to put a point of progress on the Orc war camp now that there are no Orc enemies in play. And we will discard the feint, and Hama will actually use his ability a second time to draw the feint and discard the Ancient Maven. Now everybody readies up. And we drew our Song of Travel, and we draw Firefoot. And Gandalf left play. Okay. Octagon says that there had been 9 resources on Theoden before I made the mistake and accidentally deleted the number and it wouldn't go back. It doesn't really matter. There were enough to play Firefoot onto Eomer, who is now attacking for 6 natively. Gandalf left play. We'll put a Dunedain warning onto Theoden, and we'll move Fastred's Dunedain warning over to Theoden, who's now defending for 5 natively and 9 with the Golden Shield. We'll also play the Westfold Horsebreeder, looking at the top 10 cards of the deck, grabbing... Well, Firefoot is the only mount in there. Shuffling. And hard-casting Gandalf to draw 3 cards. There we go, some more threat reduction. Over here, we'll spend 1 to put a Song of Travel onto Éowyn, who's now questing for 7. Take the damage off and remove the resources, which is what I intended. Spend 3 resources to play the Galadrim's Greeting, dropping threat to 42. And now we should be fine. Okay, questings with Éowyn for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 19. Questing for 19 against 7 in the staging area. Will reveal Terror Drives Them, surges into a Lieutenant of Mordor, who will, when revealed, resolve the when revealed effect on the topmost treachery, which is Terror Drives Them. But it wouldn't resolve the surge, because it doesn't actually reveal the card, just resolves the when reveal effect. And the real second card of staging, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questing characters. That's wonderful, I'm sure. So we've added 2 threat to the staging area. We're making 10 progress. And we are going to play from Theoden's resource pool, Ride Them Down. And put 5. Well, why? Actually. Why? I actually think we're better off if we don't. So we'll make 10 progress. Clearing the Morgul Road, and dealing a damage to an enemy in play. The Nazgul of Minas Morgul, in this case. Travel to the Morgul Road. Optionally engage the Lieutenant of Mordor over with deck 1, and deck 2 will play both copies of Well Warned, thus reducing deck 1's threat by 4. Now we'll deal all the shadow cards, and Theoden we're ready, and we will play our Feint. Oh, that's right, we recycled it with Hama. We'll play our Feint on the Nazgul. And Theoden will block the bats. And the defending player will raise their threat by 1. And Theoden will ready with the Armored Destrier, discarding the shadow card from the Lieutenant of Mordor. And then Theoden will block the Lieutenant of Mordor for 5, and not even need to use the Golden Shield. Now, Éomer and Hama together will attack, killing the Lieutenant of Mordor, exhausting Arod to place a progress token on the Orc war camp. Because there are no more orcs in play, we can do that. Clearing it, readying Éomer with a Rohan Warhorse, and attacking the Nazgul for 6 attack to do 1 more point of damage. Gandalf leaves play, and everybody readies. We draw a Westfold Outrider. We draw a Test of Will. And this is the round we win, because we'll deal another damage to the Nazgul. We'll use the Book of Eldacar to play our feint one last time. So, Éowyn, Elfhelm, a Steward, a Horse Breeder, Theoden. 4, 6, 7, 14 against an empty staging area. And we reveal a spider who will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attack, and an Orc Vanguard. Because of course we will. Which is a total of 5 threat in the staging area. Which means we're making 9 progress. Which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there is 4 progress left over. Which is actually not enough to kill either of them. Four, 5, 6, 7, 14 against 5. Yeah, 9 progress. 5. Okay, so we won't. We'll clear the Morgul Vale, and it's most important to put that damage on the Nazgul. So, Deck 2 will optional, we'll ready with Theoden. Deck 2 will optional the Spider. Deck 1 will optional the Vanguard. And we'll deal out shadow cards. We'll chump the Spider with the Snowborn Scout. Placing a progress token onto the tower. Then we will block the Forest Bat with Theoden, dealing the attacking enemy 2 additional shadow cards. The first, if it destroys a character. The second, get +2 attack. Theoden is defending for more than 3 and takes no damage. We will ready with Theoden, discarding the shadow card from the Vanguard. We will discard the Book of Eldacar to play Feint using a resource from Éomer's resource pool. Then Feint will go to the bottom of the deck. And there just remains the attack from the Vanguard, which Theoden will block. Then Éomer will attack. Well, Éomer and Hama will attack together, killing the Vanguard, readying with the Warhorse. And Éomer will attack for 6, doing the final point of damage to the Nazgul of Minas Morgul. And there we go. That did not go as expected. I did not see any of my card draw. Well, hardly any. Until right at the end when I did the massive Gandalf spam and drew far more cards than anybody in their right mind should need to. Surprisingly, I didn't see either of the other two Dunedain messages. I expected to see those much earlier. Or I hope to see those much earlier. And I hope to see other forms of card draw, like Sneak Attack Gandalf, or any of the 3 copies of Foehammer. And having a Song of Travel out would have been nice to have played that Ancient Matham earlier. Any of the Songs of Kings would have been nice to see to get that Armored Destrier on Fast Red. But, all things considered, we managed well enough. We beat the quest, sure with a remarkably high threat level, but we beat the quest, and it didn't even feel too onerous. Having that Dunedain message and being able to get that first turn scout ahead out was actually really helpful. And it's also, in many ways, a protection against Morgul spiders. If everybody, or almost everybody, is questing, then their attack boost is not particularly onerous. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching this test. We'll probably do one more run-through. I don't know if I'll record it or not, but I'll probably do at least one more run-through against the Morgul Vale with these decks to see if the updates stick. To see if this was a fluke or not. It didn't feel like a fluke. It felt like, well, I mean, our opening hands were not particularly lucky. I didn't have particularly useful cards. Over time I drew them, but I didn't start out with, oh, here's everything you need to be successful in the quest, which is what happened the last time I won. So, this doesn't feel like it was a fluke. Certainly I could have lost, but there's always an element of luck involved, and it felt like this was a sort of expected result. This is how you expect the decks to play out. So I actually rather liked it. And in many cases there was a run of bad luck, not seeing any of the card draw, not being able to play the threat reduction, having our threats spiral up to a place where twice in a row we were within 2 or 3 threat of the elimination level. You know, I think this was a pretty decent stress test, all things considered. Anyways, as I was saying, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I hope you come back to watch the next video. Thank you very much, and goodbye.